What a year for music. What's good, everyone? I'm back with another top 10 video. This video, I am going to be narrowing down my top 10 underground albums of 2021. For the most part, I've reacted to almost every single one of these albums that are on the list. A lot of these albums, obviously, I've really enjoyed, which is why they're in a top 10. I've gone back and looked over almost all of these albums, and I've compiled a list, shortening it down to 10 albums that I thought were the very best in the underground only. So don't expect Kanye's album or J. Cole's album. Nothing that's, I guess, super popular, because a lot of these albums are very popular, don't get me wrong, but none of these albums, in my opinion, got the publicity that they deserved, which is why I am making this video. Like I said, this was a great year for music. You guys helped me discover a ton of new artists, so I've listened to a lot of music. I've done a lot of reaction videos this year, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. So without further ado, let's get into the list. As usual with most of these videos, I'll start by listing some honorable mentions, albums in which I thought were very good, but weren't specifically top 10. The first honorable mention, I wasn't able to react to this album because every time I react to a Trippie album it gets blocked, but Pegasus Neon Shark, I really like this, I guess, deluxe album to Pegasus by Trippie Redd. I wasn't the biggest fan of Pegasus by itself, even though it dropped last year, but Neon Shark, Trippie in this album kind of changed his sound to a little bit of alternative rock, which I thought was very innovative, kind of similar to what MGK did. That's more pop punk. So Trippie Redd going back to, I guess, his roots and some inspirations, kind of collaborating with Blink-182's drummer Travis Barker. He produced it, I'm sure played the drums on a lot of these songs, probably all of them. I enjoyed it. At first, it's definitely kind of an acquired taste. If you aren't used to listening to that type of music, I really enjoyed it after a few listens to the album. Some songs are on a few of my playlists. I enjoyed the album overall. Coming in at the second honorable mention, I'm gonna give it to War by Jasiah. Again, I reacted to this album. I thought it was good. I thought it was unique. It's been a while since I've heard a Jasiah project. First and foremost, I really liked the features that Jasiah had on this album, from Puya to NASCAR Aloe to The Holiday to Rico Nasty. I really liked what all of them did on this album, kind of came together to create this aggressive sound, which I thought was very unique. Obviously, this was Jasiah's second album. His first one was really good. This one I really liked as well. It was a little bit shorter than a lot of these other albums that I'm going to mention, but overall I thought it was good. It was unique. Jasiah has a very unique sound, kind of an acquired taste, very aggressive. I enjoyed the album. The third honorable mention, I'm gonna give it to Crazy by Clever. Clever is another one of these artists who kind of have a acquired taste to listen to, similar to like a Post Malone, in that he kind of utilizes some of his singing skills, but he also raps as well, which I thought was a big focal point on this album. I really liked how he was able to show off his versatility in terms of what he could do. I think he did some spoken word towards the end. Obviously had a song with Juice WRLD. A lot of these songs were kind of in honor of Juice WRLD's name, which I thought was really cool. One of his personal friends. So overall, liked this album. I liked how he showed off his versatility in terms of his singing skills, rapping skills, honestly all around, proving that he's a really underrated rapper, really talented artist as well. Coming in at number 4 on the honorable mentions. These are in no particular order, by the way, but number 4, I'm going to give it to Bin Reaper 2 by BabyTron. This is another album that I didn't get the chance to react to. I'm going to be honest, it was a super long album, which is why I did not react to it. But ever since hearing Lil Yachty's Michigan Boy Boat, I've really enjoyed listening to BabyTron, one of my favorite artists of the year. If you like that Detroit, Flint, Michigan hip-hop sound, you'll definitely like BabyTron, one of the best out right now. This album overall just showed how creative he can be as an artist, with samples from like Harry Potter and a lot of other things that I guess fans would know. He's very creative when it comes to the samples that he uses and his wordplay, references to sports and whatnot. Super talented rapper. One of my favorites of the year. Bin Reaper 2 just showcased all of what I just said. Super hard album, and definitely one of my favorites. And the last honorable mention before we get into the top 10 albums of the year, I'm going to give it to Bottom of the Barrel by City Morgue. Personally, this album wasn't my favorite in terms of City Morgue's entire discography, but I did think it was a pretty solid album. Your classic City Morgue albums with a lot of guitar riffs, 808s. Zilla did his thing, so Smoola did his thing. I like the singles that they had on the project, obviously. We all know City Morgue. They're a very highly underrated duo, so all of their songs are going to be hard. I thought for the most part they were. Again, not the strongest City Morgue album, but I did feel like it was pretty solid. And there are the honorable mentions. Now, let's get into the top 10 albums of the year. Coming in at number 10, Fighting Demons by Juice WRLD. While I thought this wasn't Juice WRLD's best album, I thought that his label did a pretty good job putting together some songs. Obviously, it came out this month, so it wasn't going to be super high because I've already been listening to a lot of these albums above it, but I did enjoy what I heard. A lot of these songs I heard for the first time. Obviously, there was a few singles that dropped before the album, but I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as Legends Never Die, which the label dropped last year, or obviously Goodbye and Good Riddance, or Death Race for Love, but like I said, still solid. Again, really sad that we lost such a talented artist, but this album, again, proved why he was one of the best. But nonetheless, I liked the album, thought it was very solid. Again, pretty versatile in terms of the songs. Some songs were a little bit more, I guess, low-key and mellow, other songs a little bit upbeat. I liked it. Coming in at number 9, InLoving Memory by Bones. I reacted to this album, and this honestly showed me how good and how versatile of an artist Bones is. Personally, I thought this album was a little bit better than Pushing Up Daisies. I really liked what Bones did in terms of, again, showcasing off his versatility. I'm a big fan of versatility, and when an artist can both sing and rap, I'm hooked, because that's exactly what Bones did on this album. Some songs like Brand New Expectations, which was my favorite song off this album, he's purely singing, and it's really well done. Other songs, he's rapping, kind of that Memphis style rap, which I also enjoy very much. Overall, thought it was very strong. I've come back to it numerous times, and it was definitely one of my favorite albums to react to and listen to this year. Coming in at number 8, Dog Boy by Zillakami. This was Zillakami's first solo tape, first album by himself, and I've been waiting for it. Me and the rest of City Morgue fans, Zillakami fans, have been waiting for this for a long time. For the past few years, he's been teasing his solo tape, and it finally dropped, and obviously expectations were high, and I thought expectations were matched for the most part. Zillakami is such an underrated artist, very unique. I don't think many people can do it like him. He's on a league of his own in terms of his sound, his delivery, his style, his flow. Dude's just different, and this album proved why. Some songs super hard, similar to what you would hear him do in a City Morgue song. Other songs, again, a little bit low-key, mellow, like Black Cats or Space Cowboy. And then he has songs with Denzel Curry, which he's collaborated with before, but again, his sound and Denzel Curry's sound mesh so well together. I thought it was a very good solo album, especially for his first solo album. I've come back to it numerous times. I don't think there's any misses on the album. I think every song's pretty solid, and I overall really loved it. Alright, 7, Sin City, the Mixtape by Ski Mask the Slump God. It's been a while since Ski has dropped an album, and this did not disappoint. Obviously, it's titled The Mixtape because it is a mixtape, but I'm still going to count it as an album. Ski's only dropped really one project since 2018, Stokely, one of my favorite albums of 2018, but Sin City, the Mixtape, he was hyping it up for a little bit, tweeting a few weeks before that he was going to drop an album soon. He did, and I thought a lot of these songs were very good, especially coming back from such a long break, which he needed. Don't get me wrong, he deserved that break, but I'm glad he came back and dropped heat, because this, I guess, mixtape was very solid. Matrix, Dr. Seuss, some of the better songs on the album, some of my favorite songs of the year. Ski, again, just shows why he still can compete with a lot of these rappers. Ski's wordplay and flow is unmatched. I don't think many artists can do it better than him. I'm really excited to see what he has in the future, but again, this was just a little taste of what Ski can do. I didn't think he showed off what he can do overall in terms of being an artist, but what he did show was very solid, which is why this is number 7 on the list. Number 6, Just Say You Don't Care by Night Lavelle. You guys put me on to Night Lavelle. You guys said, react to Night Lavelle, gave me a few songs. I really enjoyed those few songs that you guys recommended after that reaction video. Followed him on Twitter and Instagram just so I could get some updates on when he was dropping again. He ended up dropping soon after, Just Say You Don't Care. Really good album if you're first starting to get into Night Lavelle. Like most of his songs, pretty dark and ominous in terms of his delivery and his flow, but it was a really good album. For the most part, I don't feel like there were many misses on the album itself. I think in the album he also did some of the songs where he would experiment on the hook in terms of his flow and his cadence, which I thought was very unique. He can do a lot, especially with his delivery, super unique. I thought a lot of the songs on the album very solid in terms of, I guess, what he was rapping about. The hooks, especially his hooks, are super fire. And again, his delivery is unmatched, super fire. Really enjoyed the album. So why it's coming in at number 6. Number 5, I'm going to have to give it to Trip at Night by Trippie Redd. Kind of like a sequel to Life's a Trip, and Life's a Trip is one of my favorite albums of all time. So Trip at Night had a lot of expectations coming into it. Over the past, I guess, year, Trippie has kind of experimented with this rage / hyperpop sound, and he's done a really good job at, I guess, leading the way for that sound. I thought this album really showcased off what the rage sound can be in the near future. A lot of bouncy and upbeat instrumentals. His vocals really good as well. It's such a cool sound in my opinion. I really like the rage sound that's coming up. I really like the features on it. Drake, Ski, Juice WRLD, even X, which it was from a prior song, Ghostbusters, which dropped, I think, the day after X passed. So just to have X's name on an album I thought was cool. Even though I don't think that this version was as good as the original, I also thought it was very cool to see X's name just on Trippie's album. The Juice WRLD feature I thought was probably one of my favorite songs of the year. Just the Trippie Redd and Juice WRLD duo, again, very underrated. Every song that they've done together has really been a hit. This one, no different. The Ski feature was good. Again, showcasing off what Ski can do, showcasing off what Trippie Redd can do. And then obviously the Drake feature. If you have a Drake feature on your album, it's going to be hard, no matter what. Drake did his thing. That song especially, just the transition from Trippie Redd's verse to Drake's verse, majestic. And I thought that this was yet another album that had no misses. I've come back to this album many times, really enjoyed it, still listen to it to this day. Like I said, big fan of the rage scene, and Trippie Redd showed why. That this scene right here, the rage scene, is here to stay. Coming in at number 4, Michigan Boy Boat by Lil Yachty. I've been a Yachty fan since probably 2016, so listened to all of his albums, thought all of his albums were pretty solid for the most part. But this album really showcased why I love Yachty. Yachty can do so much. Obviously, when he first came up, he was more of a melodic, singing type of, I guess, rapper. Not even a rapper for that matter. But as time has gone on, he's kind of transitioned into this Atlanta rap sound. And I feel like he's done a very good job at producing and coming out with quality music. But this right here showed why he's one of my favorites, to just out of nowhere kind of go into a Michigan, Detroit, Flint sound and make it sound like you're actually one of these rappers who are from Michigan, who have that Michigan sound. Yachty did a great job. He also did a really good job at putting on a lot of, I guess, I don't want to say lesser known artists, but underrated artists in the Michigan area, showing why that sound, again, is one of my favorites as well. I mentioned how I like the rage sound. The Detroit, Michigan, Flint sound is also one of my favorites. Yachty showed why with the very, I guess, intricate beats that he chose, the features that he had. This album put me on to BabyTron, like I said earlier. Obviously featured Rio and a lot of other artists as well. But I have come back to this album so many times. If you guys enjoy that Detroit, Michigan, Flint sound, definitely listen to this album because it gives you a great taste of what the scene has to offer. Thought Yachty did a good job incorporating all of those aspects that come with the Michigan sound. Coming in at number 3, RONALD by Six Dogs. I've also been a pretty big Six Dogs fan over these past few years, and it was really sad when he passed in January. And I think before he passed, he announced that he's working on this album. Obviously, he didn't get to see when it dropped, so his team had to put it out, and I thought they did a really good job compiling a lot of these songs that he worked on before he passed, and finally putting together what I guess Six Dogs envisioned this album to be. Six Dogs is yet another rapper, has a very unique sound, and this album by him was one of my favorites. I don't think it was as good as some of his other past albums, but I think overall one of my favorites of the year, which is obviously why it's at number 3. But When I Was a Baby, Post Malone, almost every single song I have on a playlist. I don't think there's any misses on the album. I did like the features on the album as well, really meshing well with Six Dogs sound. I enjoyed it. I also reacted to this album, and it was by far one of my favorites to listen to and react to this year. Alright, coming in at number 2, I'm sure you guys expected this, but Long Term Effects of Suffering by the Suicide Boys. Now this song, I said a lot of these songs have no misses, but this album literally has no misses. Every single song is different, every single song is unique, every single song brings a different mood and style to the album. Every song holds its own. Ruby and Scrim both went crazy on every single one of these songs. I really like the instrumentals used in each song. Bleach, Ugliest, New Profile Pic, Avalon. So many bangers off this album. Every song is a banger off this album. I've probably come back to this album more than I have on any other album that I've mentioned so far. I personally feel like it's timeless. Obviously, I haven't listened to the entire Suicide Boys discography, as you guys know, but from what I've heard, this album specifically is definitely my favorite. I really like I Want to Die in New Orleans, but this album right here, I think, is just super well produced. Again, each song kind of holds its own in terms of what it brings to the album, a different style. Obviously, Ruby and Scrim, super versatile, super talented, showing off kind of their boom bap, their modern and southern rap sound. I love this album. Come back to it numerous times and will continue to come back to this album because it is so good. Obviously, why it's coming in at number 2. And in at number 1, another album that I reacted to this year, and it was Rest in Peace by Drippin So Pretty. Found out about Drippin So Pretty earlier this year in like January, and ever since I've been hooked on his music. One of the more unique artists that I've listened to over these past few years. No one really sounds like him. He can sing, he can rap, he can really flow on any type of beat. And in this album specifically, I thought that the instrumentals were really unique because they weren't like super hard in terms of like a modern trap sound, but they were also uplifting. Obviously some 808s, you guys know I love the 808s, but just Drippin So Pretty's cadence and its delivery on all of these songs, it's almost like peaceful to listen to. From 18 and Call My Phone with Lil Tracy, Brennan Savage was on the album as well. I thought it was really well done. Again, loved every aspect in terms of the production and his vocals, his delivery, his flows. Everything about this album I thought was very good. Personally, my favorite album of the year. It has a lot to offer, super underrated as well. DSP in general is super underrated. A lot of people should catch on to him because, again, super talented artist, can do a lot of things, sing, rap, does it all. And yeah, those were my top 10 albums of 2021. Like I said, for the most part, I've reacted to all of these albums, so I have come back and listened to them again. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Definitely be sure to leave what you guys think or some of your top albums of the year. I'm very interested to see what you guys think. But yeah, this was a great year for music. Like I said in the beginning, excited for next year, excited for more music to drop in general. At the start of 2022, be sure to look out for some more reactions by me. I'm definitely going to have to dive into more of the Suicide Boys discography. Maybe Ghostman Part 3. I don't know, we'll have to see. But definitely stay tuned. Like I said, more reactions on the way. Thank you guys so much for such a great year for supporting me, leaving likes on the video, subscribing. Really appreciate it. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed, again, please be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next. And yeah, peace.